What's going on, guys? I'm SimpleSimon, and today I'm going to be doing an action figure unboxing of one of my childhood heroes. I'll give you a clue who it is. Before we get started, if you guys enjoyed this video or you just want to show some support for the channel, make sure you hit the like and leave a comment and subscribe if you're new. A lot of you guys know that I am still fairly new to action figure collecting and unboxing them, so there's been very few that I've been super excited for. But this figure that I picked up today is definitely one that I've been super excited for. I picked up the Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi. This is the Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary Edition from the Black Series. I've been watching heaps of YouTube videos on this figure and I've just been dying to get it in my hands. I just think it looks so good. So I'm going to do some comparisons to some other Luke Skywalker figures that I have. But before we do that, I always like to give you a little breakdown of the character. But I don't need to tell you guys who Luke Skywalker is. So get ready for this. So I was born in the 80s, which makes me an 80s baby. And back in the 80s, it was a simpler time. So my early childhood consisted of watching a lot of movies that I probably shouldn't have been watching. For example, the first RoboCop movie came out in 1987. I was 5 years old and my dad took me to see that at the cinemas. That's right, my dad took his 5-year-old son to see an R-rated movie at the cinemas. So that scene where the guy crashes into the big tank of acid and gets all melted, the image of that guy all melted is scarred into my brain because I saw that movie at the cinemas as a child. But apart from RoboCop, the biggest influences in my life in the 80s were my older brothers. Now they're all half brothers, but all my brothers were all 10 plus years older than me, so they were well into their teenage years in the 80s. So when I was 6, 7, 8 years old, they were showing me movies that I really shouldn't have been watching. That consisted of a lot of violence, high-level coarse language,
you one ugly motherfucker,
and topless women, which is probably why I'm so messed up. So if you asked me who my childhood heroes were, there's a number of them. My top two were definitely Rocky Balboa and John Rambo. They were my two absolute heroes as a kid. But there were other characters that I absolutely were in love with, such as Hicks from Aliens, and definitely one of my biggest heroes was Luke Skywalker, which is why when I saw this coming out, it's such a good looking figure, I just had to have it in the collection. So we'll unbox this and I'll also compare it to some other Luke Skywalker Black Series that I've got, because I've actually been collecting some Star Wars Black Series even before I was Star Wars guy. But yeah, even though I am new to Star Wars, Luke Skywalker has always been a childhood hero of mine. So yeah, I've been dying to get this out. Let's do this. So before I open up the new figure, I've actually always had a couple of Luke Skywalker figures in my collection, so call me crazy, but I've only just started unboxing my action figures, and I used to be an in-box collector, as you see here. There's this weird part of me, I don't want to open all the figures I collected previously before I started unboxing them. I'm only unboxing newer figures. Everything I had in the past, which I kept sealed, I'm gonna keep sealed still. So I know it's a weird thing in me, but let me know if I'm crazy. I bought this many years ago when this first came out. I just happened to come across it. I bought this one for myself because I was such a big Luke fan, and I actually bought the Han Solo for my brother Jason. If you guys are new to the channel, you haven't seen the videos I've done with him, there will be a link to his room tour video in the description below. So shout out to my brother Jason. I actually bought him the Han Solo figure. I gave it to my other brother to give to him, and I don't know if Jason ever got that Han Solo figure. But anyway, I bought this one for myself. This is the old Black Series box. If you have a good look at his face there, it's not the worst Luke face. I mean, if you compare it to the old original vintage Lukes, I mean, Luke Skywalker has had some terrible faces in the past, but this face isn't too bad. But the thing I noticed about all these old Black Series figures is that the eyes always just look like they're looking off into the distance. But yeah, I've had that one in my collection for such a long time, way before I was Star Wars guy. But yeah, I thought I'd give you guys a good look at that. The face isn't too bad. And then, I don't know how long I've had this one for, but when I first saw this, I thought it was pretty cool too. I always thought that Luke in the black suit looked the coolest, and obviously this is close. I mean, he's in the tank top. I never even That's never even happened. This is obviously Heir to the Empire, which is based on the comic book series. So I actually bought this figure, and this is just a cool looking Luke. So give you a look at him. Very, very cool looking. Now, for all you real Star Wars guys, let me know in the comments below if you know about this story. This thing here, I believe, is some weird animal that can like take the Force, or like stops your Force powers or something like that. All you real Star Wars guys, let me know in the comments. But this is that Luke, and this is a pretty good looking Luke. I mean, if you look at his face, yeah, it's really not a bad looking Luke Skywalker face there. So yeah, I do have that in the collection, but I never unboxed this. And because this was pre-unboxing collecting, this one is also going to stay in the box, but that is a very cool figure. Now, time for the main event. So this is my new pickup here. Interesting thing about this is the card choice. So let us know what you think. Obviously, it's based on the vintage Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi, which is cool, which is great. Obviously, to see it on a giant card like this too is very cool. But the actual Luke figurine is based on him at the end of Jedi when he's fighting with Darth. So I always find it interesting when the card doesn't match the figure. I know the McFarlane DC stuff does that a lot, where they'll have an artwork of the character and the artwork doesn't really represent the same version of that character that's on the figure. So let us know what you think, because as cool as it is to have this vintage card, I mean, would it be cooler if we actually had a new image of Luke in this suit? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. So that's the figure there. I'll get him out of the box. All right, let us know how you guys take your figures out. I know some people obviously like to keep the card. I like to keep this part too, so I actually just cut it off like that. So I can, if I ever need to, I can pop him back in. So take him out nicely there. So there's a nice close look at the figure. Like, the face on that is just really, really well done. Definitely, I think the best Luke face that I've seen on a figure. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Alright, so here is his lightsaber, the green. Yeah, the hilt looks pretty good, but it looks a little bit blurry when I'm seeing it on the little screen here. Alright, so there's the figure there. Really good looking face. I mean, is that the best Luke Skywalker face you've ever seen? I think it might be. Now, he does have an accessory, which is this little chest plate here. Oh, that came off really easily. So this is the flap down version, and then you've got the flap up. So it looks pretty neat there too. So this is basically what he looks like when he's fighting Darth Vader. And then I believe the flap down piece, when he's actually talking to Vader, just as after he's whooped his ass, he's got the flap down. So that's what that is. So that's what he looks like with the flap up. Pretty cool. I think I'll probably keep him with the flap down. It's just a little, I guess, detail, which is kind of cool. So this one obviously looks good, but it's just a little bit plain. I think the flap down just gives it a little bit of character. So we'll have a look at the articulation now. So head turns all the way around. Nice. Head. Not a lot of back and forth action for the head. Now this figure feels really nice. So it's quite stiff, which is good. So you've got the T-pose there. He's got butterfly joints, as you can see. No bicep swivel, it doesn't look like. Elbows go about there. Now, my new favorite thing is to make these guys do dabs. Boom, Luke Skywalker dab. Hands rotate, but don't really have a hinge on there. A little bit of an ab crunch there, not much. Goes back a little bit. And then he obviously twists at the waist there as well. The legs go up to about there, back to about there. He's got thigh rotation. Thigh? Yeah, thigh rotation. Knees up to about there. Oh, about there. Then his foot. Oh, he's got knee swivel as well. And then his feet are pretty well articulated too. Now, overall, this articulation is really good compared to some of the other Star Wars figures I've got. It's just really nice and just good quality, it feels like, this one compared to some of the other ones. So here are some size comparisons. This is Luke standing next to Cal Kestis. Cal Kestis is actually a bit taller and a little bit chunkier too. I didn't realize Luke was such a little skinny dude. There he is with the ladies, Fennec Shand and Bo-Katan. pretty similar in height, a little bit taller than Fennec Shan, pretty on par with Bo-Katan there. Here he is with my Ned B droid. Here's some Spidey characters getting their selfie with Luke. And lastly, here he is trying his luck against Thanos. He looks like he's about the 6-inch figure, pretty standard there. I really like the fact that he's got the little clip for his hilt there. That's a really, really nice touch there. So now to some basic poses, and I guess this is the first one. I don't even know why I bother doing those posing shots, they're so bad. Overall, what do I think of this figure? Out of all the Black Series figures I've gotten so far, and I've actually got quite a few. Obviously I've started collecting DC Multiverse stuff, as well as Star Wars Black Series. I've got 6 Black Series figures now that I've unboxed, so by far more than the other stuff that I've been collecting out of box. This is, I think, the best quality figure I've picked up so far from Black Series. Obviously all these unboxings have been a real learning process for me. You know, I never used to take them out of the box, so I didn't really know about articulation and things like that, but I'm definitely finding the articulation on this just is really well made. Nothing's come loose as of yet. Everything feels really solid on this figure. Even things like the lightsaber and the accessory. His chest plate just comes off so easily. It's almost like it's got a little magnet in there or something. And the other one pops on so easily as well. And also these lightsabers, I'm always terrified of pulling these out and breaking that little bit that sort of goes into the hilt. This comes in and out so much easier than any of the other ones I've picked up so far. So quality wise, this is by far the best Black Series figure I've picked up. And right now I've got to say, just with the nostalgias of this character, this version of Luke is the most badass, I think. So I was so happy to finally get this figurine, and I absolutely love it. So that's all I got for this one. Let me know what you guys think of this figurine. Would you buy it? Let us know your experiences with Black Series and, you know, the quality and everything like that. If you guys are still watching this video, you stuck around this long, I really do appreciate you. Make sure you give the video a like if you haven't already, leave a comment, and until next time, I'm SimpleSimon. Tell your friends and keep it simple.